Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Y'all already know the deal. No saying it in the comments. Mrs. E is living life reckless right now. Um, so we will, if I come to abrupt stop, you should know why. Anyway, continuing. Um, okay, shout out to Neferkar, my fellow Haitian. Um, and he also reviewed Miss Jasmine Theodora and her video, which she have since deleted, on why she doesn't find black men, particularly dark-skinned black men, attractive. Don't worry, Nepakar, I already downloaded it. Listen, dear black women, look, Mr. Z has not deleted not a single video from his channel. I have not yet to call anyone to ask them to delete a single video that I've ever been on from their channel. You want to know why? Because I stand on what I said. And if I don't, and I'm confronted with it, then I will be honest and say, look, man, I've matured. I no longer believe that. I've moved on from that. That's what I believed when I didn't have the right information, or I wasn't in the right state of mind at that point, or something was bothering me and I said something. I no longer stand by that. My apologies. I'm not going to delete it when the pressure comes. Right? Now, that's for me. Now, if something is in the way of a family or friends, that's a different conversation, right? If something is in the way of family or friends, but me, oh no, right? Oh no. So don't worry about it, Neferkar. I already downloaded it because I knew she was gonna delete. You could see that lady ain't built for that. She is not built for the realness. You found your little sneaky way, your little backwards way of pretty much saying, yeah, it's all about the white man and the white peen and white masculinity forever. You watch PragerU, lady. How can we take you? What you are a student of PragerU? You thought you were saying something. Yo, imagine a person who watches PragerU unironically. And then they think they have the unmitigated gall to speak about race. Yo, even PragerU drug on Candace Owens to speak about slavery, and even white folks were mocking Candace Owens in the comments. And Jasmine Theodora think that she can speak about the oppression of black men in a way that's non-offensive to her white husband, and she actually watches PragerU for information unironically. And she uses that as a reference point to what legitimate her conservative bona fides, right? Or how she's anti-liberal now, or anti-left, or however she wants to frame it. Shout out to you once again. I see Namer told Sid on the last stream we covered Miss Jasmine Theodora that Theodora looks to be her middle name or something along those lines. Either way, shout out to you, Mr. Theodora, for sending your wife out here to look like a goddamn dumbass. Right? But I wanted to speak about overrepresentation. So Neferkar speaks to, as he's going in, he says, this is why brothers like him have to take the mic, because of sisters like this, and because we have an overrepresentation of the brothers from the streets, the street dudes, and brothers like him are taking the mic because they grew up well off. So from my understanding, Neferkar seems like he grew up upper middle class, maybe even somewhat rich. Yes, we do have rich Haitians, and it's up to brothers like him to take the mic and to be the face and the leaders in of the black community. And Neferkar, me and you, brother, are just not gonna agree on this one, right? We just not. When you say the street brothers are the ones that have had the microphone, right, or these little mixed divester swirler chicks like Miss Jasmine, Miss Theodora, you're right, and brothers like you have too. You know who doesn't have the microphone and who never gets the microphone? Regular working class black people. Regular working class black people. Neferkar, brothers like you have been had the microphone. That's what the Cosby Show was. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, y'all been had the microphone. What you talking about? And yes, the Hood brothers. Yes, you're right. But what America refuses to show, and what brothers like you, because you're so busy trying to tell these swirlers and divestors and the racist white folks, look, we could have money too, and we could drive G-Wagons too, and we could have Benzes too. You're absolutely right. And I'm not about telling well-off black people to play down their wealth. But as a working class black man, it's real interesting watching the street dudes insult us because we look like cowards to them. And then the well-off brothers like you insult us because we don't look industrious enough to them. Huh? So one group is telling you you're a loser because you're not willing to risk it all on a business that's probably gonna fail. You're right. If you make it big. You make the big bucks. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And shout out to your father. But the well-off brothers over here, the LLC Twitter brothers over here punching down, and then the street dude brothers once again punching down. Because for them, oh, you out here working for the white man, or you out here punching the clock. Well, actually, both of y'all are doing the oh, y'all out here punching the clock thing. Because apparently, regular, smegular, degular, 9-to-5 black men don't deserve no respect from no one. Not from black women, not from industrious black men, not from street dudes black men. Huh? The reason why we call this overrepresentation is because, quite frankly, Neferkar, and to the street dudes, and to the swirlers and divestors, and black women in luxury, and black women could be like white women. Why can't we be? Y'all overrepresented. Overrepresented. I said overrepresented. What is Mr. Z saying? I don't know. Right? Y'all overrepresented in media. That's kind of what FD Signifier was speaking to, by the way, in his video about swirlonomics. Y'all do got the camera in front of y'all. Y'all may not have the microphone fully. Let me correct what I was saying earlier. It's white men putting the microphone in front of y'all. It's not the microphone that black people built, right? Let's make a correction. It's not the microphone that black people built. No, it's white folks, white capitalists putting the microphone in front of the well-to-do brothers, in front of the street brothers, and in front of these weirdo boss girl feminists. I want to be with the super ballerific black dude, or with the street black dude, or with the white man black women. Y'all are the ones with the microphones. The regular 9-to-5 black person that's living an okay life, that's not necessarily down and out, but isn't balling out of control either, that's in a long-term relationship or is married with fully black children, we're the ones without the microphone. Exactly, Trell. You're a coward or you're dusty. Right? What a juxtaposition. If you're not industrious and you didn't grow up, or you didn't create and make yourself into this super business owner who's investing here and who yawn, or you're not a street dude, then shut the hell up. Right? Look at this weird ass juxtaposition we put regular 9-to-5 black people in. These are not people that are a scourge on society. These are not people that are losers. These are not people. These are everyday. These are the black people that hold up the entire black community, to be frank with you. And they're the group of people, namely black men, that no one cares about. You want to talk about the black people that no one cares about? It's your everyday 9 to 5 normal black man. Your normal black man hasn't been to prison, right? Earns somewhere between like 45 to like $75,000 a year, somewhere in there, right? Does his job, go home, loves on his wife, loves on his children. Children might go to a state school, might go to the community college. They also hold up society. He might be contributing to one of these NGOs or one of these black organizations. Stay married to his wife for decades. Maybe she filed for divorce on him, but a regular brother. Go on vacation maybe 2 times a year, maybe three, maybe one. Exactly, Joe. The bus driver. Neferkar, whether you realize it or not, you're kind of insulting the bus driver. You're kind of pulling the ebony, kind of, sort of, a little bit. Now, I'm certain that you're not coming from that angle. I'm not saying you coming from the angle of calling brothers mediocre, but kind of. Y'all keep on punching down on the people that literally hold the black community up. We already know what's animating Chrissy and Yanni and Paris and Miss Jasmine, right? We already know. But then there's other brothers that you could be blue collar, but if you're not making crazy money, then shut the hell up. And if you're white collar, you get a smidge more of a pass because you have a bit more status. Because you're white collar, so you're not working with your hands as much. You're working more with your brain, and so you get a bit more. You could not make as much as the blue collar as we demand the blue collar man earns, so that he could say something. If you blue collar and you make less than 80 grand a year, shut the hell up, kill yourself, jump off a bridge, right? Why are you talking, right? It's real interesting the position that I want to say what a good 80 or some odd black people find themselves in. Black men find themselves in. You know, Neferkar speaks about his father investing $100,000 in his education. His father was a big body binge driver, right? And shout out to Neferkar and his upbringing. And Neferkar is still pro-black, and but the elitism thing, you know what that gets us eventually? And I'm not saying that black people can't be elite. Understand? You gotta walk the tightrope when you say this to people, because they think you trying to say black people can't be a leader. That's some white stuff. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is eventually, where we're gonna end up, right? You'll be surprised when you look to your left and Chrissy's standing right next to you. You'll be surprised when you look to your right and I'm not Yanni, well, maybe Yanni, but Paris is sitting right next to you. Eventually, when you keep on walking that road, what you think you end up at? America is a white hegemonic state. You walk any direction long enough and you end up in Auschwitz. That includes the classism road. Dear black people, right? That doesn't mean that, for Mr. Z, it's that, oh, if you don't hobnob with regular black people, then are you really black? I'm not doing the black litmus test thing, right? But there is something to be said about black people over, like, this over representation of street culture on one side and opulence on the other side. And then I would argue 80% of black people, black men, that don't fit in either, we're just told to shut up. because the war is between the Pookie street dudes and the black male Bartholomew the Thirds, right? And Jamal, who grew up in the black community, who is around black people, who has a black wife or girlfriend, and has, the two black children, one black daughter, one black son, loving on his family, you shut the hell up. This is absolutely insane, right? So, you know, non-Neferkar, it's not just the street dudes that had the mic. It's not just the street dudes that had the mic, brother. You're saying that because of your particular angle, how you were raised, it looked like the street dudes only had the mic, right? No, it's the street dudes, it's the bougie brothers, and it's these weirdo anti-black male black women. Your everyday black person is stuck somewhere in the middle, being told to shut up. Right? Your everyday black man is somewhere in the middle, being told to shut up. Like I said, on one end, you're told you're not industrious enough. You ain't starting no business. You're not part of LLC Twitter. You ain't trying to make something shake. You ain't trying to risk it all. You want to work for the white man. You okay with your little job. Right? And on the other side, for the street dudes, it's you gotta work for the white man. You gotta punch a clock. Once again, you ain't trying to risk it all. I'd rather do this and live it up and live it big for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before I get caught than do what you doing with your little 9 to 5 thing. I'd rather have some crazy stories to tell a grandchild than do what you doing with your little Disney World going to for vacation ass. Right? Or you one of them. You look, Mr. Z gonna use a little bit of profanity today. You one of them niggas. Oh, you just a Disney World going to ass nigga. You ain't trying to fly your girl out to France. Right? You ain't trying to fly your girl out to Italy. Right? Which, by the way, both sides, the Pookies and the Bougies are both saying that. Right? And so it's very interesting how we get to this point. Y'all gonna have to really contend with the baubles of success, quote unquote success, and what we tell black men and how they should get it, and whether they're really men if they don't have it. Right? Huh. So, I also wanted to speak about the fact that, shout out to and I didn't see shout out to Road Dog that was on Dr. Green Gorilla's panel last night. I didn't so I once I got off, I had to do something else, so I wasn't able to continue listening to the stream, and I didn't realize that he wanted me and other people wanted me to actually do the stream last night. I said I might have, and then I kind of had other things to do. My apologies. Lifed, and right. Let me say that again. Lifed, and so I wasn't able to do it. But I might have tried to make something shake if I knew that people wanted me to stream. And my apologies for that. Um, yeah. So, huh, I'm glad that we're here now with this conversation. Right. And by the way, before we transition, um, shout out to Nefikar for reminding Miss Theodora that women like her have existed. These kind of mixedish black women who align with whatever white powers that be exist, um, and those white powers use them for political gain until they're no longer needed, and then just discard of them and whatever system they created to, elevate these kind of mixedish people, right? These mulattoes, these octoroons, quadroons, etc., etc. Um, Shout out to Neferkar for actually reminding, right, Miss Jasmine that women like you have like existed all through colonial times. All you've existed, right? You existed on the west coast of Africa. You existed in Southern Europe. You existed in America. You existed in the Caribbean. You existed in Latin America. Women like you have always existed. To sell other Negroes out, to sell other black people out for some trinkets from white society, hope to whiten up your lineage, right? And do the bidding of the white racists, right? Women like you have always existed, Miss Theodora. You're not unique. And throughout time, you've always found different interesting ways of excusing you being okay with being with the murderers, slaughterers, rapers, pillagers, and conquerors of planet Earth. Now, one thing I will have to disagree with Neferkar again on is, nah, Neferkar, this is an XX chromosome thing. This is not. Oh, black women do this, and you don't see other women do this. Nope, nope. Yep, man. You better ask somebody. No, this is a X. This is an XX chromosome thing. They ain't that loyalty thing. Pff, yeah, right. The second the other man beats you, they out. Scream, gone. Is that every woman to a woman? No. But is that women? Oh, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Gone. You better go ask the French about the Germans. Right? Go ask somebody. And you see it in America. Once again, Mr. Z gonna bring it up again for the 1 zillionth time. Asian women, anyone? Right? You see it in Asia. You see it in South Korea. You see it in Japan. Right? You see it all through Latin America with the indigenous women and the black women when it comes to white men. So no, this is not a black woman thing. No, this is a XX chromosome thing. This is a feature, not a bug. Right? That's why I always say I know, we don't do the critiquing and insulting of hypergamy. We work with it because we understand that this is how human beings got to be where we are. But that doesn't mean Mr. Z can't critique it sometimes and just remind women, nah, I get it, XX chromosome. Y'all okay with being with the D boys? Y'all okay with being with the rapers, pillagers, and conquerors? Y'all okay with being with the people that don't pay their employees enough? Y'all okay with being with the people that actually murder people that are trying to start unions? Y'all okay with being married to the venture capitalists? Y'all okay with being married to the all of those people, the scammers? Y'all okay with being married to the Bernie Madoffs, right? Y'all okay with being married to the people that say, ooh, grandma only got 4 years left on that house that her and her husband, who just passed, been paying off for 30 years. Ah, but she's struggling a little bit. I'ma take it anyway. Y'all okay? Y'all okay with being married to those dudes? This is an XX chromosome thing. It's not a black XX chromosome thing. No, this is an XX chromosome thing, period. That's just how they move. For the good and bad of it. Right? For the good and bad of it. Y'all okay with being married to the dudes that slaughtered the Aboriginal people, slaughter indigenous people, enslave black people? Y'all okay with that? That's XX chromosome all day. Right? You know, destroying the environment, don't care. Right? Lead in the water in Flint, don't care. Right? That's an XX chromosome thing, bro. So, that's number one. Number two, let's now we can transition. So, I think we are in a good place right now when it comes to the conversation of anti-blackness as it is directed towards black men, both outside of the black community, so interracially, and inside of the black community, intra-racially, right? And KFC, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker, right? I would argue we are in a good place right now. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. This conversation needed to be had. And I think this is going to be a real fight. Because now this is the slaughtering sacred cows part. Because we're kind of going at women and what's intrinsically women, the hypergamy part. But what we're doing is being honest that it doesn't end at the racial line. And what we're doing, look, if y'all don't do it, that's perfectly okay. But Mr. Z is gonna do it. You better believe Mr. Z is gonna do it. Mr. Z, are you saying you're gonna shame black women for wanting to be with white men, no matter how that white man came to be, or who he is? You better believe it. In a weird way, don't you realize that you're challenging their hypergamy? And because their hypergamy that crosses racial lines means that black boys gotta hurt. Black boys gotta feel the pain. Right? Because you be damned if Miss Theodora advocates for fully black boys. Yeah, right. Or Chrissy. Or Yanni. Right? Or Mahogany Pink. You be damned if you think those people are going to advocate for black boys. Even some of them who might have a black son one day. Or even a mixed black son who presents black one day. They're not. You'll be damned if one of those BLM members advocates for black boys. They're not. Especially straight black boys that present as black, not mixed, not racially ambiguous. Huh? I think this is going to be the real fight, because what we're going to be alluding to is how black women do the bidding of white racist society, mainly because they're trying to climb up that ladder. Oops. And that many of them, especially the ones in prominent positions, don't care about black boys and men the way they've been espousing to for the past few decades. Right? Huh. And that much of the reason why they don't advocate for black boys and black men is because of the want to be accepted by the dominant society, which, by the way, is still anti-black. That's why they got to make excuses. That is why Miss Theodora got to come out here and be like, "Well, I kind of see y'all as kind of weak, as kind of defeated." That's Miss Theodora trying to make excuses for being like, "Look, I'm okay with being with the rapers and pillagers of the world. I don't know about the rest of these people. I don't know about the rest of these black women, but look, look for the lifestyle, for the bragging rights. Yeah, I'd rather be over here with this guy than be over there with you quote unquote losers. Y'all lost the racial war. My husband and his ancestry won. My father and his ancestry won. And hopefully, no one will be able to tell if I have a son. He will be on the winning side. He will present white. He will be white. And definitely, if he has a son, it's done. If my son has a son, it's done. We're white. It's done. I'm on the winning side, or I'm in the lineage of the winning side. And because Miss Theodora don't have the ovaries to just outwardly say it like that, she tries to shame black men into shutting up about the oppression that her husband and his ancestry have visited upon just about everybody of color on planet Earth, but namely black men, definitely dark-skinned black men, right? And Miss Theodora, your project will fail, right? The shut up black men about talking because y'all look like some soft liberals because you're talking about my husband and his ancestry and you and other black people, including some black women. Okay, I'm not going in on light skin. Right? I'm not one of those people that you're light skinned, so you're white. I'm not one of those people. Give me a second. I'm gonna read your comment in a minute. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Right. Give me 1 second. And PK says, not unless he's super duper light skinned broski, it don't work that way. LOL. Look at the U.S. history for reference, even legislatively. Right. Right. No, that's exactly what I'm saying. PK and PK says, gotta be passe blanc to even attempt to play at that. I think if Miss Theodora is to have a son with you know this dude, and then if he doesn't pass, if he ends up with a white woman, or that and they have a son, or that son's passing. That son and that daughter, her potential son and or grandson and granddaughter. Oh yeah, they definitely passing. Y'all give me 1 second. Y'all give me 1 second. And we're back. We're back. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. I said it eventually one day this century, millennia, um, Earth existing, Mr. Z will be able to stream without interruptions, without getting kicked off, without dropping stream, without having to pause, without a crazy background. It's gonna happen eventually, one day. I don't know when, but one day, right? We shall overcome one day, right? Um, and D Scott, thank you for the super chat. And Z says, I'm on Z time, late AF hysterical. That's who I've become, right? Popeyes this early? Hell no. PK says, gotta get that Popeyes. LOL, right? But yeah, what Miss Theodora was attempting here was, like I said, like to tell black men to shut up about not just the history, but about the present. And by the to all the conservative brothers, right? This is why it's difficult to get black people to move in that direction, because it's the white supremacy and racism denial. It's the playing it down. It's the minimizing it. It's the you're playing victim. Not that you are a victim, that you're playing victim. That type of language. It's the insult of telling black people, black men, to get off the quote unquote Democratic plantation. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. And implied in that is to go where? The Republican plantation? Because that statement doesn't just end at get off the Democratic plantation. There's not a period there. There's a dot, dot, dot. And come over here with us on the Republican plantation, where we're real men. Yeah, that's it. Right? Where we minimize slavery and Jim Crow and the current injustices all through the system. That if we were to audit the banks right now, we would find out how they screw in black people. High ass interest rates, not giving loans even if the person qualifies, right? People selling their homes, getting lower value for their homes because they're black. See, Miss Theodora, that's all happening to black people, black men, because they're black. Let's be very clear. You know the thing that you're trying to minimize? Exactly, Michael Ross. Erase from history, hashtag Ron DeSantis, right? Play down Jim Crow and the murder and slaughter of black people just because, right? Speak about how black people got some great skills through slavery. Slavery taught black people some great skills that they were able to take and make some money off of after slavery. Not really, because we weren't hiring them. Whoopsie. Right? So Neferkar is right about that. This lady literally got on and said she listens to PragerU, and she didn't say it unironically. I mean, she didn't say it ironically. She said it unironically. You imagine a blackish person speaking about watching PragerU unironically. Wait, watching PragerU for information and education. And it was a white man, PragerU, oh my God, who informed her that black people are these downtrodden people. Yeah, and then on the other side, he allowed, or he hoped for people like you who play down what people like him have done to people, well, that look like you kind of on your black side. Not look like you, maybe look more like your mom, maybe, possibly, right? Exactly. And PK says, LOL, PragerU, yikers. Exactly. Exactly. She was talking about, PragerU? Dennis Prager. You, you're getting your information about black people from PragerU. Even white conservatives mock PragerU. Right? All you got to do is watch Candace Owens present slavery on PragerU, and that will tell you everything you need to know about what PragerU is on. Right? Thank you, Indigo. And Indigo said, had like 10 jobs when they forced us to work for free. All of a sudden, after emancipation, they ain't hiring. Exactly. Exactly. Right? And talking about unions, um, it's interesting because, black people who, if these white racists would have included them in unionizing efforts in the 1870s and the 1880s and 90s, all through the early 20th century, they could have more easily defeat those anti-unionizing efforts. But these people were so racist, so anti-black, that they would rather get slaughtered by the Pinkertons, right? Get hemmed up by Henry Ford goons than align with the black people that just came out of slavery. They didn't know how to fight. That just came out of slavery a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. And if you hire them and you bring them on and you pay them a livable wage, you would have one of the best and hardest working men in America. And instead of aligning with these formerly enslaved black people, formerly enslaved black men, you rather go it alone and make the unionizing effort last decades longer. Decades. Right? But once again, I wonder if Miss Theodora knows about that. Right? It's interesting where we are right now. You got black women, the Candace Owens kind, the Miss Theodora kind, right? The Chrissy kind. Who did we cover the other day? Was it no, what the older black woman I covered a few weeks ago that was speaking about Cynthia G getting knocked off? What was her name? Oh, I forgot her name. All of these people playing down black oppression. You imagine you have so much disgust and disdain for black men. You're willing to play down the ravages of capitalism, even to other white folks. You're willing to play down Jim Crow. You're willing to play down slavery and minimize it. Oh yeah, exactly. Just like Yanni did with the civil rights leaders, right? That they did all they did. The black male civil rights leaders did all they did to get close to white women. It wasn't nothing about no equality, right? You imagine you're so resentful at black men because they're not the ones who raped and pillaged and conquered to put you in position, that you're playing down, you're minimizing slavery and Jim Crow. What did the lady say? The lady that was speaking about Cynthia G and her getting knocked up again, she said, is it really racism? Is it really racism? Or are they doing what they're supposed to do? You imagine. You want to get at black men so bad? You remember Chrissy when she saw that dollhouse? F this and F that, and we shouldn't have your kids anyway, and we deserve this. And this is way cheaper than a steak dinner, and if you can afford this, then should we be having your kids? You imagine? Oh my God. Wow, and Detroit says Paris Milan speaking about how black men didn't go draft in World War II. Tell Paris to shut her sassy, airheaded ass up. Shut it, Mr. Milan. I'm pretty sure that's not Paris Milan's real last name, etc., etc. I know she's married, so now she adopted her most likely adopted her husband's last name, but we're gonna call him Mr. Milan. Your wife was out here saying, Kentanji chose better, Eve chose better, Serena chose better. All right. Yeah, she tone deaf, her dumbass. She thought she was flexing on black men when the war in Ukraine started between Ukraine and Russia. She wanted to mock and insult black men, so she put up a meme speaking about it and said, look at these Ukrainian men, look at these white men. They're defending their people. They're making sure that the women aren't fighting. They're sending the women and the children on trains out of Ukraine. Black men would never. And white folks, that's what, and she had a bunch of minions in the comments. Yeah, you right, girl. And white folks, that's white men and white women, and even some Ukrainians descended into her comments and was like, "Is wow, what are you talking about? Those men don't want to be there. They're being drafted. They're being forced to fight. They don't want to be there." White men and white women got on Paris so much she deleted the post. I still have some of the screenshots from the comments, but I didn't screenshot the actual post. I don't know what Mr. Z was thinking at the time. I wasn't thinking. But I have screenshots of some of the comments, including from some of the white folks. But Paris, old coward ass, deleted the post afterward because white folks was getting on her and making her look like a dumbass. Right. But that goes to show you that how far these people are willing to go to jab at, insult, belittle, demean black men, to minimize black men's contributions throughout world history, definitely throughout American history. Even contributions that benefited black women. They're so hell bent on minimizing and I'm sorry, y'all. I had to pause because it when you really think about the disdain you have to say black men did everything they did all through Jim Crow, being murdered by the police, having these super powerful, excuse me, fire hoses sprayed on them and being bitten by German shepherds and all of that. Black men went through all of that. Black men were being killed and maimed and beat up for quote unquote reckless eyeballing. Having the gumption to look a white man in the eye when you speak to him. Right? For not getting off the sidewalk as a white person or a white family walks by, you don't jump off the sidewalk. Black men went through all of that, all of this dehumanizing behavior because they wanted to be next to white women. Imagine that. And that is you go from there and then it's a hop, jump, and a skip. It's nothing to transition to shoehorning in a bigger long character in the movie Harriet. It's rhetoric like Yanni's that then transition into the bigger long character, the fictional made up black slave catcher telling a white slaver, oh yeah, if I win that prize money, I'm gonna use that on quote unquote white whores. Like, you could have said that in the 1850s, in the early 1860s, and not have your teeth knocked in. But it's nothing to shoehorn in a black man, and it's nothing to shoehorn in a black man who thinks so low of black women that he wants to capture a black woman so he can use that money to have sex with white women. And of course you're going to say that about America's not so distant past, because black women have convinced themselves that black men will do anything for non-black vagina, but especially murder, hurt, maim, destroy black women for non-black vagina, or we'll do it all for non-black vagina. To have access to, and because black women have convinced themselves that's how black men move, that's how black men think, that's how black men feel, that's how you get a bigger long character. Right? So when Yanni sit there, it's not that it's not dangerous, it's super dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. That black men sleep black and black men talk black and sleep white. You go from that to what Yanni said to the bigger long character. That's how that goes. Huh? You go from Chrissy calling these kind of racially ambiguous, or really can't tell what their background is, women exoticals, and black men will do anything for exoticals. You go from that to black women dancing on Kobe Bryant's grave because he wasn't married to a black woman. He was married to an attractive Latina. Right? And the reason why you can dance on Kobe Bryant's grave is because of the foundation that Paris and Yanni and Chrissy and Lexus Exodus, even if these people didn't have YouTube channels at the time, and Mahogany Pink and Cynthia G and Divested Witch and Divested Zealot and Alejo chick, whatever her name is, and Shira 7 and all of these creators, and Crystalline Karazin. The foundation that they created is how you get to black women dancing on Kobe Bryant's grave. Mr. Z, how often are you going to use that example? All the time. Yes. Right? how often are you going to use that example? Yes. Right? These people are it's crazy because these people are accusing DeSantis of rewriting history while they're okay with rewriting history when it comes to black men. Oops. Huh? Y'all lucky DeSantis don't know enough. Y'all be lucky that white people don't care enough to throw in your face, dear black women, how you playing the game with black men. Because a white dude that's in tune with some of black culture, you understand what they could do to black women in public? The second a black woman be like, Mr. DeSantis, you're rewriting American history. Didn't y'all do the same thing in the Harriet movie with the bigger long character? How quick would it be for you to it's fictional. Choke on your words. Y'all lucky these white dudes are not in tune like that. But guess what? A couple of them are. But guess what? Some white women are, some Latinas are, huh? You saw what Miss Brooks is on. You see what Miss Brooks is on out of Germany. Maybe she's in Germany. We're not 100% sure. That's a Turkish woman in Germany, from our understanding. Huh? Those exoticals are tired of hearing y'all talk crap about them and their relationship with black men. You're insulting their husbands. You imagine that, PK? And PK says, white men step in like, yo, that's too racist, black lady, calm down. What world are we living in? What world are we living in? I said it before, right? And I think the first shot at to across the bow is Miss Brooks. I said that before. What world are we living in where, and my prediction, one day we're gonna see a full out verbal brawl between black women or a black woman and a non-black person on the other side. Defend the non-black person gonna be defending black men, and black women are gonna be like, well, pretty much like that black woman that Miss Brooks was going at. What world are we living in where black women are so hell bent on beating up on black men that they make even non-black people, white people, maybe even white men cringe? Because it's not a little joking, oh, you're ugly. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Because like I said before, black women want to equate you making fun of their hair texture, or you making fun of their nose, to them telling you should have been aborted. Because for them it's the same thing. Their little hurt feelings, right? So they think it's okay to speak absolutely reckless around non-black folks. And yeah, the racist people will let you get away with it. The anti-black people will let you get away with it. They love it, actually. But y'all gonna come across the right one, and it's gonna be embarrassing when not you. Oh, you imagine on camera watching a non-black person flame a black woman because her rhetoric about black men is that inciting. And y'all give me a second. Right? I'm back. I'm back. You imagine? And we already know what black women are going to be on. It's the same thing the young lady, the lady said to Miss Brooks. It's the same thing. You don't know what we go through with these men, these type of men. You don't know. Black women always think that there's an excuse to talk absolute, like, not even vitriolic, just vile, disgusting about black men. They think there's always a quote unquote reason, an excuse. And so when they make non-black people cringe, and these non-black people are like, I don't know. You don't know what these black men do to us. Don't tone police us. It's the same thing they were saying when Kevin Samuels died. Right? Absolutely insanity. Right? Low key, PK said maybe we need to revoke B Dub's inward pass. LOL. Low key, high key. This is why I'm with Black Uru on the political separation. This is why I'm with him on that. I'm with him on that because then white racists could stop hiding behind black women. Huh? And when black women call in to a Barack Obama's White House bemoaning the my brother's keeper that they feel is going to benefit black boys and leave black women behind, people can really see that for what it is. They can see that for the anti-black male push that some of these black women are engaging in. Huh? So that people can know when black women are in public talking crap to black men, when you see women like Ebony K. Williams trying to sun black men, when you see women like Tiffany Cross trying to sun black men, when you see women like Meg Thee Stallion trying to say we want y'all, we don't need y'all, right? When you see black women like the younger black women on Daily Wrap Up Crew protect, provide, and shut up. When people see that, if there's a political divorce between black men and black women, people will accurately see that for the racist, anti-black, misandrist rhetoric it is. When BLM profits off of dead black men's bodies, black men's lives and memories, when BLM profits off of that and does nothing for the same straight black men that are still alive, and they have a mission statement that essentially says, yeah, sidestep those dudes when they walk into one of y'all offices or try to speak to one of you. And when they speak about nuclear families in their manifesto, like it's ew, nuclear families, ew, then everybody can accurately assess what that is. These queer black women despise straight black men, and they're going to use the dead bodies of black men to benefit themselves in a vacuum. And Compassionist, check your email, Z. Sent you some art. I will. Thank you, by the way. Right? Huh. So, I think all of this ties into Ms. Jasmine Theodora and her rhetoric. I am glad that we are having a real conversation now about black women. And it's really just a woman thing, right? Like, hypergamy doesn't end at race, right? And because hypergamy doesn't end at race, what does that mean for, like, outgroup men? What does it mean for outgroup men when outgroup women from their same demographic are either willing to let them wither on the vine, at best be a bit indifferent? Mr. Z, you said a bit. I know. A bit indifferent to their suffering at best, or at worst, offer them up to the system for trinkets. What does it mean for outgroup women to offer up outgroup men to be devastated by the dominant society? What does that mean for outgroup men? What does that mean even for the outgroup women that want to end up with those outgroup men? Right? And all Miss Theodora just stepped in a hornet's nest. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Mixed Black Woman with the racist anti-black worldview. Thank you. Because of your video, now we can start compiling more and more what you've said, with what Chrissy has said, with what Yanni has said, with what Lexus Exodus has said, with what Cynthia G has said, with the rapper Eve has said, right? And when we compile all of these things, right, it makes sense now. Y'all willing to offer up black men to white racist dominant society while y'all project that that's what we're on, like the bigger long character. Oops. See, it's not fictional for us. We have evidence, right? Huh. So it's a good thing that I think we're in a really good part of this arc, right? On this chapter, of It's Always Jermaine's Fault, I think this is a good chapter. I think this is a good chapter for us. I don't know how it's going to be for the opposition. I think this is great for us. Even for some of us that disagree, like, you know, me and Nefakar, I think this is a great chapter for us at the end of the day. Because what we're showing is how far some black women are willing to go to be accepted by the dominant society, and to hell with every other black person, right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Talking about super chats. Thank you to Mr. Shug to you. And he said, B dubs are now the most open racist in America. I don't know what to say to that, Mr. Shug to you. Right? Yeah. See, if you would have just said racist, then I could say no. Right? I still don't think they beat out the white folks. Right? And even some Latinos. Goddamn, if y'all met some of these white Cubans down here in South Florida, Jesus Christ. But when you said open, that's the word right there. That's the quantifier right there. The open racist. Especially when they talk about black men. Yeah. That. See, if you didn't say open racist, I could have been like, nah, Mr. Shook to you, nah. Like I said, many black women think black men playing the dozens with them and their little hurt feelings justify some of the things they say about black men. They act like, better yet, not even think, they act like it justifies it. You call a black woman ugly, she gonna tell you how your mom should have aborted you, how your mom should have swallowed you, right? And shout out to Cynthia G. What was beautiful about Cynthia G's rhetoric was the way she was speaking, right? And y'all give me 1 second. Oh boy, did I? Okay, we're still here. Give me a second. Wait a minute, Mr. Z. What's going on in your life right now? Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Right? Mm-hmm. But yeah. So, and I lost my train of thought that easily. There you go. But yeah. So oh yeah, the open racist thing. Yeah, it's hard to say no to that. That's difficult to say no to. Black women have made it just so painfully obvious um how many of them feel about black men, and they're willing to do it in front of anyone. They're willing to say just about anything in front of anyone, and then use intersectionality as this kind of cloak to say, well, we can say that because you're not black plus woman, so you don't know what it's like to be, and this is where they play victim, to be punched down on by black men, right? And so, like I said, like saying you don't find a black woman attractive or whatever it is, they use that to justify just the most absolutely insane rhetoric about black men, right? They use that to say just the most absolutely insane rhetoric about black men, and black men are just supposed to eat that, right? That's the world we're living in, you know. Huh. So yeah, Mr. Shikti, you got me with that openly part. That was the one right there. I couldn't disagree right until you said openly, and I'm like, ugh. See, yeah, right. Hmm. So on that note, look, I think what Miss Theodora did here, I don't think this was not her intention. She didn't know she was gonna give the Black Manosphere something to be like, oh, Eureka, right? She didn't know that was gonna happen. And she deleted, by the way, Neferkar, like I said earlier, she deleted the video. I knew she was, you could tell that lady ain't built for this. I knew she was gonna delete that video. That's why I downloaded it. Oh, yep, you better believe Mr. Z downloaded it. Of course I downloaded it. I knew she, you know what? So she first, y'all are right. She changed the title initially. And so that's why a couple of people couldn't find it, because she changed the title. So if you were looking for, and I can't remember what the original title is or the second title, but she changed the title originally. I downloaded it before she even changed the title, because I knew, I was like, this lady ain't built for this. The second she feel a little pressure, she gonna run. So I downloaded it. I was like, oh yeah, this is gold. I'm downloading this. Then after she changed the title, I think it stayed up for another day or two. Then she deleted it. Of course she deleted it. Just like Paris has deleted some of her stuff, just like Chrissy has deleted some of her stuff. I'm not sure if Yenny has ever deleted some of her stuff. I gotta go back and check and see if some of the things I remember her saying, if they're still up, right? Some of the titles I might recall are still up. But yeah, because they talk so reckless. See, it's not necessarily that Miss Theodora was speaking reckless, but what she said was so illuminating. She might have gave up the ghost a little too much, right? So she deleted that. You know what I didn't do though? I didn't screenshot some of the comments. That's what I didn't do. That's where I messed up. I didn't screenshot some of the comments. I did not do that. But with Chrissy and Yanni and Paris, oh yeah. Especially Chrissy and Paris, oh yeah, they've deleted a lot. Right? A lot. Right? Because when they get in their bag and they start feeling themselves, they start talking real reckless about black men. Especially Paris. All type of nakers come out and right? When Paris get in her sassy bag, all type of insane rhetoric comes out. When she was mocking and dancing on Terry Nichols' grave, huh? Mocking Terry Nichols. And thank you, KFC. And KFC says the video's original title was why I never dated black men. She changed the title after getting flamed. Yep. And now she deleted it. Right. Hmm. You imagine a mixed black woman with a white father who is now married to a white man, a white husband. Literally, a woman like that who, not only that, okay, cool, white father, white husband, who admits to growing up in a damn exclusive white area, who mother, from my understanding, is not even ADOS, whose mother is African, thinks that she could talk about black male victimization. Look, y'all, it's really difficult to disagree, and I'm saying that as a child of immigrants. I kind of don't like where Tariq took this tether thing, but it's really hard to disagree with him when you see people like this, bro. And if she like this, we can only imagine what her mom is on. It's really difficult to disagree with Tariq Nasheed and how he uses tether when you see women like Miss Jasmine Theodora. It's really difficult. Huh? I'm just saying. So anyway, right? So yeah, Mr. Shook to you, yeah, that openly racist, ugh. Yeah, man. Right? So yeah, she deleted it. That lady ain't built for that, man. I knew it. Nefercar, I got it downloaded. Don't worry about it. If y'all need it, let me know. Right? I knew it. I knew she wasn't built for the smoke. And shout out to Chrissy and Paris who deleted a bunch of their stuff where they just went absolutely insane with the rhetoric, excuse me, about black men. Like I was saying, before I forgot what I was saying. Paris over here using Naker, just going in on black men, essentially excusing the abort black men type of rhetoric coming from Cynthia G while she's going at Cynthia G. Her and Cynthia G keep on going at it. Now Cynthia G don't got no channel, right? Same thing with Chrissy and the insults, right? So, y'all. So on that note, we're gonna close out. Look, um, like I said, I like this chapter. I like this arc that the Black Manosphere is on. I think we found something here. Shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla for having me up last night. Shout out to BGS. Shout out to everyone else that was on the panel. Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I think AL was up there, right? Um, Road Dog. Shout out to him. Shout out. I think Salchi got up there. Also shout out to him. Um, I think we have something here. I think we have something here, and it's not just about black women not wanting to be with black men. It's actually bigger than that. Pause. Had to do it. Had to do it. Um, yeah, but no, it is. It's about what black women's hypergamy that ends up with black women aspiring for upper middle class and above white women lifestyle. What does that mean for black boys? Even if we, you know, even if we eliminate black men from the equation, what does black women's white aspirational mindset mean for black boys? Right? And I think that's where we are now. And I'm telling y'all right now, by the way, dear Black Manosphere, prepare because this is a fight that black women, this one right here, black women are going to be willing to fight it. Because now we challenging some of their hypergamy and they don't like that. And women don't like that. Oh no. You bet. I'm telling y'all this one right here. Oh, this is going to piss them off. We just hit the hornet's nest with this one. I'll be surprised if they just stay quiet. I don't think so. Because now we about to tell them why they really are going after them white dudes. Why they really hold black men to white. They want to talk about white beauty standards. Now we're telling them, yeah, and you holding us to white male standards of quote unquote success and European standards of quote unquote success, and not just even stability. No, outright opulence. I seriously doubt they just let this one go. Oh no. I really think BGS touched on something here. And shout out to Dr. Ron O'Neill, shout out to Dr. Green Gorilla, shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. I think we got something here. And this is and shout out to BGS once again for picking up these glasses. This is the lens Mr. Z been looking at these things through. Right? Because I knew for many black women, it really is what Miss Theodora is saying. They just didn't want to frame it that way because they feel shame about pretty much because Miss Theodora didn't grow up around black people. So she don't know you supposed to frame it like black men are oppressing you. Black men and their colorism and their texturism and their featureism, and that's why you're supposed to date out. The reason why you're dating out is not because of hypergamy per se in a vacuum. Racial hypergamy in a vacuum. No. Because she didn't grow up around black people, she didn't know that you were supposed to frame this like the reason why you want to date out is because black men aren't up to par, right? Black men's colorism, texturism, featureism, right? Black men are secretly gay, secretly on the DL. She didn't know that's how you're supposed to frame it. She didn't realize what you're supposed to do is frame it like Chrissy does. Frame it like Yanni does. Frame it like Paris does. Frame it like Lexus Exodus and Mahogany Pink and Cynthia G does. Like Divested Zealot and Divested Witch do. That's how you were supposed to frame it. Because she didn't grow up around, because first, African mother. Secondly, didn't grow up around black people. Right? So she don't know that you're she made a big mistake in framing it accurately. That might be another reason why she deleted it. She gave up the ghost. Right? Just like how Ostefko gave up the ghost with the pretty privilege and admitted, like I've seen women like me married to black men. I can't really even call it colorism per se, because I've seen women with my skin tone married to black men. Just like how she gave up the ghost, that they feel insecure when they walk in a room and nobody really bats an eye, and then the quote unquote pretty chick walks in the room and she's getting the neck turning and everybody's checking, and that's where the insecurity come from, because nobody's tapping her on the shoulder and be like, hey, by the way, you're ugly. No, is that when the pretty girl walk in the room, she get the attention, which ends up making Ostefko feel ugly. Right? And because Ostefko admitted, because of that, that's why she wants a gorgeous man. Because of her own insecurity about how she looks or how she feels black men feel and other men feel she looks. That's why she needs a gorgeous man. She gave up the ghost. Exactly, compassionate. I told y'all, let them talk long enough. Let them talk. The internet will expose us all. That's why I say let them talk. You let them talk. You let people talk in general, but definitely you let women talk. If you let, of course, obviously in the beginning, it's all the excuses and all the defense and all the right sign language, but you let them talk long enough, and then we get to the real. And then, like Compassionate said, accidentally expose everybody. Eventually, they're going to accidentally expose themselves. Right? Huh. You let them talk long enough. You let Chrissy talk long enough, and when she saw that dollhouse with the white woman, she lost it. We deserve this, and that's why we should have your kids. And F that and F this and F that and yeah. Let all that envy and jealousy of the upper middle class white woman, let it go. Yeah, Mr. Z knew that's what it was. That marketing degree got you all the way messed up because you want the oohs and ahs from the lifestyle. Huh? You don't realize how close you and Kevin Samuels actually are, Chrissy, while you were talking crap about the man. You do care about how things present. You don't actually care about men. That's why if you listen to Chrissy talk, she don't talk about no love, nothing. It's all some weirdo neoliberal assessment, conspicuous consumption assessment of men, right? You let Yanni speak long enough, now she talking about decentering men because she don't got one. Because she don't have the type of man she desires. You let Yanni talk long enough, she tell you she put the vagina on the table for one of her homeboys that she finds attractive, and he was like, and he closed the door on her until her drive home safe. Ah, dear women, not just black women, dear women, do you understand the calculus that comes to a man to tell you, drive home? You put the vagina on the table, and a man, look, man, either he finds you exceedingly unattractive, and Yanni's not ugly. So either he finds you exceedingly unattractive or exceedingly insufferable. And for you, Yanni, to put the vagina on the table and he said, nah, right? For him to say, nah, right? And Dut React says, Yanni used to be a big Keisha. And she's not talking about when she used to be a big Keisha. The video she recorded doesn't look that old, and it doesn't sound like a story that she's telling from like 7, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. No, this looked like something a little bit more recent, maybe a year or two, if even that, maybe even some months old, right? And for those of you that know, someone sent it to me and it's lost somewhere in my email. Somebody resend that to me. Whoever it was that sent it to me, send it to me again. Right? It's lost somewhere in my emails. I don't know if I'm ever gonna find that again. But yeah, this is not when Yanni was a big Keisha. Yanni, word to the wise. If you look, that's not how men move. That's how women move. If you put the vagina on the table for a homeboy and he's heterosexual, oh god. Yanni not Kanye. Look, you can't mention Yanni without brother. This brother, excuse me. Technical difficulties. Look, Yanni not Kanye will be in the clouds, right? You won't even know he's listening, but you mentioned Yanni. This dude could be in another universe. I smell someone talking about Yanni. Right? Yanni, man, Yanni not Kanye be killing me with that. You mentioned Yanni, he could be on a he could be somewhere on the other side of the multiverse. Did somebody mention Yanni? Look, we all got that look, bro. Look, we all there's and that'd be killing me too. There's a woman for every man, right? Particularly black men, right? We already know we the most egalitarian daters, right? And Yanni not Kanye says, "Ishin me, I would have took Yanni down." We know. You don't got to tell us. We know. And y'all give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. We're back. Yeah, y'all. So Yanni not Kanye kills me every time. But yeah, so yeah. Word to the wise, Yanni. If Buddy Rowe ain't take the vagina and he's a straight man, I seriously doubt that's because he wanted to protect his friendship with you. Not saying that that's not possible, but I seriously doubt that that was what was in the calculation. What I'm saying is either he sees you as exceedingly insufferable, or he did a quick calculus, or he already knew you liked him and he been said to himself, I'm gonna hit it enough to hit it raw. I'm gonna hit it raw enough to get her pregnant, and oh my god, do I want Yanni as a baby mom? Ask Mr. Z how he know. Right? So either he doesn't find you attractive in that way, which is okay, or you're cool as a friend, but he knows that you would be insufferable as a baby mom or a wife or a girlfriend, and he said, nope. Dear Yanni, that is not how men work. If he's not super ultra mega churchy, but even if he was, if he liked you enough, he'd be like, no, I don't think we should have sex. We should take it slow. But if he didn't say that, which according to the video, that's not, it looks like that's not the angle he was coming from. So if he closed the door on you and told you have a nice night, and he told you to drive home safe, or however you said it, right? If that's the case, Yanni, I'm telling you as a man, I'm not even trying to mock you or make fun of you right now. I'm telling you as a black man born and raised in these United States. If a man, especially a black man, turns down a black woman who's not hideous, if a black man turns down a black woman who is not absolutely hideous, when she clearly put the vagina on the table, I'm telling you right now, either he doesn't find you attractive or he doesn't find you appealing. So you're cool as a friend. You might be cool as a work partner. Right? Y'all might crack jokes. He might think you're cool as hell as a friend, have you around as a friend, right? Especially you doing your YouTube thing. If he knows you're doing your YouTube thing, he might want to keep you around as a friend, but he has already decided, yeah, but sex, absolutely not. Relationship, intimate relationship, absolutely not. Right? And better you said, church fucks are the biggest hoes. You know, I know, I know. Right? So yeah, but Yanni, I don't know. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. Right? And Yanni said, was she's 5'11" or something like that? 5'10"? I think she let that slip one time. She's taller than Z. She's like 5'10", 5'11", something along those lines. Right? Detroit. I ain't even gonna highlight it. Right? But that's something to think about. It's something to think about. So, you know, now that we are in this chapter on this arc of Black Manosphere Tales, right? I think that this is something that we should spend some time on, be careful, right? Be calculating, because I think we have something here truly. I don't know if that's the song you want to refer to, Better You. I ain't even gonna highlight it. Remember, someone got in trouble for their lyrics on that song. right? Was it that song? Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah. No, it wasn't that song. It wasn't that song. It wasn't that song. It wasn't that song. The rapper was still on that song and another song. I was thinking about another song. It wasn't that song. I mistaked um Stay Scheming for what song was that? That with with Future and Ross and whatnot. And I'm thinking about Ross's lyrics on that song. That's why, because I always mistake those two songs for each other. Two different songs. My bad. My bad. You're right. I still ain't gonna highlight just in case it gets misinterpreted though, because you know these people, right? Right. I know what you're saying though. Thank you. Yeah, Dreddy Bean. That's the song that I was mistaking it for. That's the song I was mistaking it for. Exactly. Thank you. You already know. Dreddy Bean already know where I'm going with it. Exactly. Right. It wasn't Stay Scheming. It was the other one. It was that one. Yeah. And you know exactly what lyrics I'm talking about. And you know exactly who got in trouble for what they said and on a song. Right. But yeah, so you know that's something to think about. Jeez. Because like I said, yeah, shout out to Trill. Um yeah, you know, she's not an ugly woman. She's not an ugly woman, right? But there's something to be said about putting the vagina on the table and then your homeboy's like, yeah, nah, right? I wonder if she deleted that video because the person that sent it to me, did I? Huh? I'm trying to remember if I had to like save that video somehow or how did I have to watch that video? Because if I had to click it and it sent me to the YouTube video, then she might have deleted it. I don't recall. But you know, I think that's something to be said. Like, yeah, there's something to think about, Yanni. That's something to think about, right? And on that note, everyone, we'll truly pause right here. I said that like 20 minutes ago. So we'll truly pause right here for real. I think like I said, I think we're in a good place right now. I think that this is something that we need to explore and be careful with because I think there's a lot to get from this. And I think this ties into where Black boys find themselves. Um, and I think this also explains much of Black women's rhetoric, particularly on the internet over the past decade or so concerning Black men. I think if you're attempting to appeal to elite Black men at the very top of the top, tippy top, right? Or upper middle class and above white men, I think that really does explain Black women's rhetoric, particularly on the internet over the past decade or so. Right? I think that explains the rhetoric. And I think, and Compassionate, if you don't mind, if you're still there, what I said about the young lady and her exposing herself and exposing Black women, if you don't mind splicing that out, just put whatever images you want to put with it, please and thank you. Because I think that says a lot. I don't think she didn't grow up around Black people, so she exposed Black women, and her framing was genuine. Right? Her framing was genuine. She didn't realize you're not supposed to frame it like that. You're supposed to act like a victim. You're supposed to act like Black men did something to you or did something to Black women, right? You're not supposed to act. You're not supposed to be honest and say Black men lost the racial war, and so yeah, it just dries my Johnny right on up. Right? It's the honesty, right? I'm not saying what she said was 100% accurate. I'm saying the honesty of just openly admitting, yeah, right? I find there's Black men that are I know they're physically attractive. I find them physically attractive, but it's something about white male hegemony, because that's what she was really saying. It's something about white male hegemony that is just so much more attractive than these black men who are physically attractive to me. If we were going to be honest, that's what she said. It's something about white patriarchy that is just so much more, right? It really gets my juices flowing compared to these black men who I know, these dark-skinned black men who I know and I can see are physically attractive. But that white patriarchy, though, like Ginny Mai, anyone? Wait a minute, did or did not Mr. Z attempt to say this to FD Signifier? And did he not dismiss what I said or try to minimize what I said? Right? Telescope said, tell him don't implicate us in your feelings of ugliness and unwantedness. Exactly. Because whenever BGS speaks about Ostefko, what does he remind us? And there's a whole lot of you saying Ostefko is a 7. In other words, brothers rate Ostefko. Ostefko might feel ugly, but that has nothing to do with black men, because black men rate Ostefko. There are black men right now that if Ostefko didn't look like she was off her goddamn rocker, would marry an Ostefko. That's why she said she's seen women like her that look like her married. She said that out of her own mouth. Or at least she said she's seen black women that look like her that are in relationship with black men. Now, one of those two she said out of her own mouth. Mr. Z saw it. So she's admitting that, yeah, it's not that black men find you ugly. It got to be something else. It's real interesting. Like I said, let them talk. If you let them talk long enough, eventually they're going to admit to you, yeah, it's me. Right? Let them talk long enough. They're going to frame it a different way. You let them talk long enough, they're going to be like, yeah, it's me. Right? So on that note, everyone, like I said, I think there's something here. I think we found a gold mine. And that is why I downloaded the video. Dear Miss Jasmine Theodora, you can't run from what you said. You said what you said. And thank you for accurately framing this. You ain't mean to do that, but you did it. Thank you. Thank you for telling us what Chrissy was really saying. Thank you for telling us, Mr. Z already knew. Thank you for telling us what Lexus Exodus was really saying. Thank you for telling us what Cynthia G and definitely Crystal and Kerosene was really saying. Thank you. What they're really saying. Huh? And on that note, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. And we will truly pause right here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. All right, everyone. Mr. Z out.